Welcome back to another episode of Bulletproof Mindset, Scotland's #1 health, fitness and entertainment podcast. Today we welcome John Hamilton to the show. So John used to play Call of Duty professionally and managed to make a good few bob playing it. However, over the last couple of years he has pivoted and launched his own business called The Young and Lazy, where he helps young entrepreneurs develop and scale their own businesses. So you bet in today's episode we dive into hearing John's stories and all the challenges he's faced from almost becoming a professional football player, then turned professional gamer, and now running the very successful Young and Lazy Mastermind. Now I know what you're thinking, masterminds sometimes get a bad rap, but today's conversation, you're going to see a different side to it, and one for sure with a lot more purpose and meaning behind it. So before we get into today's conversation, I need a favour from you guys, especially for you who are new around here. One of the best ways you can support the show is by leaving a 5-star rating on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, or wherever you're watching this. And if you're watching on YouTube, please subscribe to the channel and leave a little comment below. This helps me and the show out massively. And if you're listening on Spotify, what I'm starting to do with these guest episodes, if there's any questions that I might have missed, then please reply to the poll, and on a future episode when we bring John back on the podcast, we can get your questions answered. So that is enough chit chat, and without further ado, let's get into today's episode. One place I do want to start, because it's close to my heart, is the gaming world. Are you still involved with gaming as much?
I game when my schedule isn't fucking mental.
And when is that?
I mean, prior to the Phil Graham stuff, to be fair, when we put that kind of commitment, it's weird, man. It's like the more commitment I put on the table, or the more, if I make a hire, there's this kind of like rocket that goes up my arse where I'm just like,
fuck, I can't.
Yeah, I can't put
any. No such thing as downtime and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah. It's weird, man, because you kind of, when you kind of burn a hole in your own pocket or you take a next step forward, there is a level of anxiousness or fuck, I really need to make this fucking work. So like, the first one was when we hired Jack, and for anyone that doesn't know the kind of structure of our company, it's myself and Andy as kind of co-owners. Then we've got Jack, Reese, my mum also works with us as well, and we're just make our 6th hire. And it's like every hire, Jack was my best mate since we were 14. He left a full-time job in the council for he was there for 7 years. And when we hired him full-time, it was like,
This is real.
Yeah, this is real, man, and I cannot fucking let him down at all.
So see, in a nutshell, like what is it that you do?
Yep.
What does the business do in a nutshell?
I'm mindful that we just brushed over.
It's like my company does this. Well, who's this guy?
Yeah.
He plays. We've just mentioned gaming. Does he do something with gaming?
Yeah, I get you. But I wanted to touch on the gaming stuff for sure, mate. But yeah, in regards to like what I do, I run Young and Lazy, is what it's known as. It's been known for the last like 2.5-3 years as a network for young entrepreneurs. We're definitely evolving more into a kind of coaching, like consultancy, like environment where we build on the community. Often the community stuff stays the same. We've nailed the community shit.
Good.
It's just this in the extra layer up where we're actually doing one-to-one stuff with clients. Clients are paying us really good retainers. They're paying us for bespoke. For Andy's side of things, he specialises more in the kind of systems, Notion, that side of things. We've got clients paying like anywhere between like 2 to like 8-10 grand per build for this bespoke work that Andy's doing. And on my side of things, I'm usually a consultancy retainer, starting off at like 3 months up front into a kind of 1.5k and above per month, which takes us into kind of like a weekly consultancy with them. Really results driven, really tangible outcomes, and yeah, we've been doing it in a 1-to-1 format, but we need to take it and now do it in a 1-to-many format.
So you were mentioning off camera, it's obviously that's pivoting and you're going through like a bit of a restructure of that. So taking this back a bit, how does someone who is in the competitive level of Call of Duty pivot to this? Like, so I actually want to hear, how did you even get into the gaming competitive scene? Because that's always really interested me. And we were saying when I was on your podcast that there was a fine line between me going down the personal training route or really putting all my cards on the table and try to monetize the entertainment side of Twitch. Talk us through that. So I'm assuming from a young age, light games and all that sort of stuff. When did they become more competitive for you?
Yeah, so backstory, like grew up single player in a household, just lived with my mum, had my little sister in the same house, and yeah, like I was obsessed with football, mate, obsessed with football at a whole different level. Started getting scouted by likes like Rangers, Hearts, Aberdeen and stuff like that. Started getting pretty far on. And then it's typical Scottish injury. Tore the ligament in my knee. Was out for a year, mate. So I remember I went to the hospital and the hospital was like, yeah, man, 2 to 6 weeks, you'll be back playing football. Mate, a year, probably closer to 18 months. My mum was literally like,
What age are you at this time?
So I'm about 12, 13. So about 13, probably about 13 years old. She's helping me up the stairs, helping me in and out the bath with my shorts on. Like fucking couldn't do it and couldn't walk, nothing. And I'd always gamed because my big cousin, I used to go and stay at my grand's, mate. I'd sleep in the top bunk, he'd be in the bottom bunk, and he'd just sit and bash. It was Gears of War was the game he was playing, right? So
that was an addicting phase as well.
Oh, crazy, mate. Because I think you and him are the same age, like similar age. So he's 31.
Mine's was Gears of War and Halo 3. So Halo 3 rank system now. We're getting really geeky here for the guys listening, but they know how much of a big gamer I am. The Halo 3 rank system, grinding to that top rank and try to get 50s in the different playlists. That's where I actually made, I think I sold 2 accounts where I grinded them up to, I think it was a doubles 15, sold the Xbox account on, and then got my account hacked, being too much of a fanny with it. Nice. So that's where you were, so Gears of War then was the first. Yeah.
So I grew up, like, I'd literally go to my grand's on a Friday evening and stay there till, like, as long as my mum would let me. So if it was Sunday, if it was Monday, if it was Saturday, whatever my mum would say, and I'd go, and I'm probably like, 8, 9 years old, just laying on my top bunk, watching my cousin play all day. Like, it was literally, I was obsessed with watching him. And if he went to the toilet, he'd be like, you can play for 5 minutes. And I'm like, fucking sound straight in and about it. So got my first console when I was about 11, about 10 or 11. My mum finally got me like an Xbox 360. And then just from there, mate, I was already obsessed from watching my cousin. Idolised my cousin a good bit as well, where I wanted to be like him. He was 6 years older than me, so it was like anything Daniel done, I was like, I'm going to do the same. So yeah, just started bashing. Initially it was COD was where I initially started. Well, actually Gears of War was where I initially started because of Daniel. Then it evolved into COD, then a bit of FIFA, and then COD just became like the game that I became really good at. So Black Ops 2, which was when I was like 13, 14. Right. So when that injury happened, it was like, where am I putting my time into? So I'd come home and I'd just bash COD. So it was like finish school at 3 until whatever time.
Right.
I'd literally just play all day every day. And I was so good. And I kind of, for context, you have like public lobbies, which is against everyone. And you have competitive lobbies, which was kind of when Black Ops 2, which was when I was, about 14.
That's game battles? Was that back in the day?
Yeah. And yeah, just got super dialed in. So with the spare time of not playing football anymore, not having training, that sort of stuff, super dialed in. And then I had a mate who, fun enough, Jack, who we first hired, he moved to our school and we became kind of mates in one of our classes. And he found out I was good at COD. I found out he was good at COD. We played together. We were both just as nuts as each other, right? And I was like, holy shit, I didn't know someone like you existed. You're at my school, we're mates. So he used to come over to my house, mate, every Friday. So
I get why he's clicked then.
Yeah. So he came over to my house every Friday and he'd bring his Xbox, his TV, everything, right? And we'd just sit back to back in my room from Friday until Sunday. And he'd leave and go home. And we'd just sit and bash it. And eventually, got to a stage where, like, during that time period of that was when I started playing competitively. When I met Jack, we got a wee team of 4, started playing game battles and stuff. Started playing for money, and I got my first check through the door. Which
How much was it?
$250
for winning the tournament.
It was just win that tournament. It was our first tournament we won. And my mum, being as fucking class as she is, she was like, "Okay, this is real now. This is your part-time job. You like play as much as you want, do as much as you want. Like, I'll go and cash us in at the bank for you, and I'll withdraw the money for you." And
so was this like the first, almost like where you were saying recently, where people paying you guys money and saying, fuck, we have something special here? Was this the first time? Did you know you could monetize gaming? Or was it like the carrot was dangled a little bit?
Carrot was dangled. There wasn't as much money in it then as there is now. Like,
that's crazy.
Fucking millions now, obviously. But back then it was like, I mean, that was like one of the top kind of UK European tournaments that we won there, and it was $250 each, man. No. So like a grand split between the 4 of us. So yeah, like that was pretty fucking mad. So the support of my mum was very much like, she kind of opened the door. So like before that, I had a curfew, internet off at 10 o'clock. I'd listen for it to snow.
You sneak downstairs tonight. I remember those days well. Putting a pillow underneath your Xbox, put the pillow on top, realising it overheats and all that sort of stuff.
Serious strategies, mate. Serious strategies to the game. So yeah, I mean, that was the first paycheck. I then started competing properly in terms of going to events. So you had live events that you could go to.
Where were they located?
I mean, I went to a good few, like down in England, like Birmingham, London, Coventry, and then when I turned 18. So there was a rule that came into play, which is a pain in the arse, which was like when I was 16, they brought in a rule which was like you couldn't compete unless you're 18 or above. And it was because the game was 18 plus and the prize money started to get so ridiculous that they couldn't let kids play, essentially. So when I turned 18, that was when I started going to the kind of bigger tournaments. So I went to France, I went to LA, I went to Vegas. So I just started going to like tournaments kind of around the world, which was pretty fucking nuts. I went to, it was like 4 different states in a year.
Mental,
so I thought it was fucking
to play
nuts.
a game.
Yeah.
So going back to like your parents then, so is your dad in your life at all then? No. So your mum's been your kind of the woman in your corner, the person who's raising that. What was that like for her to experience that? Because I always think from a generational thing, and I know our parents were like, you're not making money from gaming and all that sort of stuff. Was that a challenge at all? Or it sounds like she was a big supporter.
So open-minded, mate. So open-minded. I remember I was actually speaking to her about it. We went for dinner on Saturday, and I was actually talking about this to her because I feel like a lot of the kind of quote-unquote older generation or the next generation above us, which is our mums and dads, a lot of them are very close-minded to a lot of this shit because we're in a really new era, right, where there's a lot of new shit. Like even this wouldn't have existed a decade ago. My business wouldn't have even been able to monetize like literally 5 years. Even more than that. And she was always super open-minded, man, super proud mum type stuff. Now, the biggest thing with my mum, which I've never actually had the opportunity to speak about this on any kind of platform, to be fair, and I've never found a way to drip it into my content, but my mum, you ever read The Way of a Superior Man?
No, but I've heard of it. Is it good? Is it worth the read?
Awesome book, mate. Really good book. But the book, the main premise of it is teaching you how to understand masculine and feminine energy, essentially.
Sounds like, so I read a book called The Kabbalion. It's in that as well, where it talks about the 2 parts and the 2 roles that they play. So sound similar? Yeah,
it does sound very similar, mate. And it's like, for some people who hear feminine, they just instantly think like female, and that's because they're naturally associated. But in this day and age, there's a kind of polarity where some males will have more feminine traits, some females will have more masculine traits. And I was so fortunate, man, where my mum really did fucking develop a lot of masculine traits to bring me up where I wasn't a walkover. Like you see that in a lot of kind of young guys that grew up in a single parent household with their mum, and it's like naturally they'll be kind of mollycoddled and they'll kind of evolve into, not necessarily being a bit of a walkover, but really like more emotional. And this is a generalization here, but whereas my mum, man, like she was the bread provider, she was the fucking rock. She never showed any like emotional, like I would never have knew if my mum was like upset or nothing. And she was just like, I just had no fucking choice but to show up every single day for yous. And on top of that though, she had this feminine energy that was really caring and really open, like you're speaking about with the COD stuff. So it's like she was, whereas if I reflect back on my relationship with my dad before I stopped speaking to him, which was when I was about 10 or 11, it was very black or white. So it was like super 100% masculine, almost had this fucking like unpredictable aura around him where he was just really frustrated or angry a lot of the time. Yeah. And it's like, when I look at my mum, like it was never black or white. She knew how to dance between both whenever it was called for. Whereas I think a lot of people, I guess it's an emotional intelligence thing, right? Whereas majority of people really struggle to actually do that at all. And my mum, super supportive, super caring whenever needed. Even like little things. Like I remember I went down, launch out a new game, right? Going down to Asda midnight launch. Fucking.
There's a thing that's just wiped out as well, man. Mate, that experience is gone.
What a feeling.
I know. Halo 2 release was crazy. I remember that so vividly. Even the Halo 3 one. Mental.
Indescribable feeling, man. So I'm going down, I think it was FIFA at the time. FIFA was always a buzz when it was first launched. Going down and I get to the queue, mate, and I've lost the 45 quid that my mum gave me. And I fucking started crying. I'm a kid, mate, start fucking crying. I'm like, oh my God. And I had this weird kind of memory from my dad where, remember I lost a £5 one of the times when I was out playing or whatever, playing football, lost a £5. And my dad just like dragged me in, sent me to my room. You're not going out for the rest of the evening. Off his nut, big telling off. And I remember I started crying as a kid, and I remember thinking, oh my God, my mum's going to be so fucking annoyed at me, so frustrated. And I went back and I pure broke down. I was like, I've lost the 40 quid. And she was like, why are you so upset, man? It's fine. Like, we'll go back. Like, hopefully the game's not sold out. We'll go back. We'll get it just now. If not, we'll pick it up tomorrow. And And don't worry about it, man. Like, money's money. Like, it's going to come and go. And I think, once again, that kind of polarity, she was able to dance between that feminine and masculine, where with something like that, it was like this real feminine care, but also with other things, like when I turned 18, I left school, mate. I had no fucking qualifications pretty much. I'd missed the opportunity to apply for college and uni doing what I wanted to do. And I said to her, I was like, I'm just going to take a gap year and just do the game and stuff. And she was like, yeah, for sure. Like, that sounds good. But just to be clear, John, you're not going to be living in my fucking house, not bringing in a single dime.
Yeah.
You're going to get some sort of part-time job or some sort of job to compensate it. And once again, that's that balance of that masculine, feminine polarity.
Yeah, so she's not been seen as a pushover to you. Yeah.
For sure, mate. So she danced between that like very well, mate.
Yeah. What's it's two ways, I guess, to go with this. What's your mum doing at this point? Like, do you say you're a single child?
No, I've got a sister.
You got a sister. So she raising both you guys and
she did. Yeah, she raised both of us. So me and my little sister, I've got my own place now, obviously with Bex.
Yeah.
Melissa has her own place as well, and my mum runs her own business. So as soon as I say what she does, you're going to understand how she dances between the masculine and feminine. She runs a debt collection and credit solutions company.
Yeah, so she's got the grip. She's got that hardened state.
She takes no shit, bro. She takes no shit. But she's a fully qualified paralegal, has been for like 25 years. So any of the legal side of things, so any contracts, privacy notices, any of that shit, she covers all of that. And on the flip side, if anyone's never like got unpaid invoices and stuff like that, she'll collect the debts as well. So she's ran that business for close to 6 years now.
Yeah. So it's amazing she had so much belief in you at the start of your journey. Yep. Being able to have her as part of your business now, what's that feeling like?
Amazing, because the role that she's in, so she's in more of we've called her kind of like a client success manager, where if clients need an extra level of support, we'll kind of trigger this kind of 4-week accountability phase where our clients will hop in and they'll have a weekly call with my mum. And my mum fucking loves that shit, man. Like, my mum loves like helping people. She's always wanted to do some form of business like coaching, but business coaches get such a bad rap nowadays. She would never want to close her current business. So we've actually found a way to give her what she wants without having to really step out and say, this is what I do. And the clients have fucking loved it as well. So it was a bit of a struggle to begin with in terms of like managing expectations, right? Because it was like, Mum, you've always danced between these lines for me, but this line's going to be pretty drawn in the middle where it's like, if the clients don't get value from this, we cannot continue doing this, and we can look at other alternatives. But I need all the calls recorded. I need your honest feedback. I need the client's honest feedback, and we need to see if this really works. And my mum was like, absolutely, I wouldn't expect anything less. Like, let's fucking roll. And once again, like dancing between that, she just fucking really got it. And she came in. Clients have fucking loved it. Feedback's been amazing. I actually think we've retained a lot of the clients she's been working with. We're going through not really struggling just times, but like difficult times within our business, difficult changes that were happening. And I believe we've actually retained them because of my mum in terms of the value she's been able to provide. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, it's been fucking sick.
She's playing an important part in that.
Yeah.
Do you think she's seen you go in this direction from raising you?
I'd like to think so, but I think it's weird, man, because like a lot of parents have this kind of like, how do I put it? Like an amazing amount of belief in their kid when it's not really warranted in a way where there's no.
It's like protection.
Yeah, it's kind of like if there's no like proof that indicates something, it's like someone saying, oh yeah, my kid's going to be a professional footballer, but he's never kicked a ball. Yeah. And he's like 10, 11, 12 years old.
Or it's the opposite. It's like they don't want to push their kids to take the risk because it's their own insecurities and fear and that sort of stuff. So bringing this back, right, so you're competing all over the world. I take it that's came about because you've just put in the reps, you're starting to monetize the business, or you're monetizing the gaming side of things. What does that look like from an income perspective at that time?
Yeah, so during that time period, I mean, everything was just earned through tournaments. Like
it's like one-off payments.
Yeah, so it was like any tournaments we were playing would get a few, which in terms of a quote-unquote like part-time, I'd maybe bring in like 500 quid a month here and there. And it's like doing that while I'm at school at like 14, 15.
It's awesome.
You're going, man, you think you're shit hot.
Oh, no.
Serious bread, mate. You're serious. So, yeah, from an income perspective, not really that much, but there was, around about that time period, that's where people started to get salaries, start to get owned by, so like organisations and teams would come in. and start buying players and like having them represent. So the same way like from football troops, anyone that's listening that's kind of like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like a football team will buy a player and then pay them a weekly wage. The same shit was happening in COD, where players were getting sought after, those organisations that really wanted specific players. And players started getting put on salaries essentially, which I was never put on a salary or anything like that, but I was like being fully funded to go to these tournaments. So I was going to Vegas, for example, not a single penny out of my pocket. So it was like flights, accommodation, and spending money.
How do you qualify for that at the time? Was it just like the elimination, like tournament
it's more
styles?
like, this is what I didn't like about the kind of gaming side of things, man. A lot of it was status driven, man. So it was like, if you were quote unquote good enough from an organisation's perspective, based on how you done in online tournaments, they would fund you and they would send you away. So it was kind of like status / word of mouth was what got you funding to go. Right. And then based on how you placed at the tournaments would whether or not you'd stay consistent with them, which my placements were never good enough to like, I was always jumping organisation. And when I say placements were never good enough, I wasn't winning tournaments, which just wasn't.
So was this the first kind of, I guess, a seed that was planted that this might not be the thing you do forever?
Potentially. I mean, it was one of those, like, I'd love to say I had it figured out, like 18, 19, man, but I actually went through a big time period. See, during that time period where I said, I'm just going to do the gap year game, stuff like that, I was a scapegoat, man. I think my mum kind of seen through that as well, where I lacked purpose, didn't know what the fuck I was doing. I was gaming, and one of the things that's not spoken about enough, mate, gaming is definitely a trauma response for a lot of young guys.
Yeah, so I actually want to get into this. So we've touched on it in the podcast before about how addictions are, people are more outspoken about various different things, drug addiction, gambling addiction, porn addiction, but one that's starting to come up and creeping up just now is gaming. I've seen a lot with clients, but even myself, it's something I've not spoke about huge amount, but I've noticed recently that I'm using it, like you said, as an scapegoat. It's like, right, I'm getting relief, I'm relieving stress here, but it's like it then consumes you where you really know you've got other things you need to work on. This is a hard thing when you're running your own business, because you need to convince yourself you've got a fucking job and you can't sleep in the next morning and all this sort of stuff, but it can be very consuming and it can be such a powerful outlet, but easily abused as well.
100%, mate. It's something that can really, if you're not disciplined with it, man, like it can take you by the balls, mate, and you can literally be stuck in it. So for me, it was like trauma response, knees fucked, can't do what I really want to do. Probably some stuff around like, I mean, mainly like replacement of football was like the main thing, and it's like, I don't know what else I've got going for me just now. I'm shite at school, my attendance is terrible, I don't really know what the fuck's really going on with my life. The only thing I'm really good at is playing COD.
Enjoyment.
And I enjoy it. But
football's competitive, isn't it, when you think about it?
For sure. But it's like you said, it's an escape. It's like, I remember there was a stat, and it was like the things in terms of ranked, in terms of whenever you're doing something in this day and age, because of the amount of like notifications on your phone all the time, things pinging, it's really hard for people to stay focused on just one thing on its own. I remember seeing a poll, and it was about like, what is the number one thing that people are most present in when it's happening? And the number one ranking was sex. When you're having sex, you're not really thinking about anything else, right? That was one of the highest ranks on the polls. I think if that poll was done again for our generation, it would be gaming. Because see, when you're gaming, mate,
you don't care.
Time goes like, you can fucking blink, mate. Actually, it's got to a stage now where I start taking see, when I play games on a Sunday, I'm like, time's going to go so fast.
It flies in, mate. It's so Jill went out on Saturday, and we were going to work on the business. It's the first time stepping away from our job. And she was going out to meet friends. I was like, you know what, I'm going to download Apex. So I need to uninstall the game on my PC. And that's the boundary that I've tried to create, because it takes 20-30 minutes to download it. So I downloaded Apex. None of my friends play it as well. And this is the thing I bring myself to. I'm like, why am I enjoying this so much? Why can't I fucking get away from this keyboard? But games are so crazy now that the load times in between games is crazy. Like, so what I said to myself was, I need to work out today. Tell you what, in between games, I'll do 5 pull-ups, right? So I started doing this, and I was counting. I was like, I've just done 100 pull-ups, and I was like, no way I've played fucking 20 games already. And I was doing the math, and I was like, where does that time went? I was like, what the hell? And that, you might think, okay, at least he's moving his body, but I have to be so present to make that decision. And then there's other times where I'll play, and I'm like, right, I'm just going to play for a couple hours, but 12 hours go by.
Yep.
And I'm like, I should really go home. It's 2 o'clock in the morning. It's like, nah, I'm going to keep playing. I'll play right through. And there's so many times that I've done that. But do you think that stems from the childhood? I don't want to say trauma, because it's not trauma for everyone, but the childhood maybe escape, or just being brought up with it? Or do you think it's something that once you get an experience for it, it's just, it is?
I think like the kind of younger generation below us are definitely just going to be a natural, they're getting this feedback, this dopamine hit, and it feels fucking amazing, and they're not going to know any better, right? And it's like, I remember I was at a holiday with Bex, and we went to Cyprus, and I remember we were driving, we were on the bus, the transfer, like back to the airport to go home, and it was like 11, 12 o'clock at night, late flight, and there was this kid beside me, and he must have been about like 6 or 7, and he had like phone screen zapped up, it was like Sidemen were on, and I'm not even joking, man, like people are going to howl when they watch this, right? But they literally, the wee guy, every 2 minutes, right, would go like, Sui, right? Just like that speed, like fucking speed Ronaldo thing, right? Would not stop doing it every like 2 minutes. And it was like, it's pitch black, everyone's trying to sleep, this kid's watching the Sidemen, and it's just this constant, like, he's howling with laughter as well, so it's like laughing down the whole bit, and his mum's like, chill out, Bob, fucking calm down.
It's like dopamine overload, isn't it?
Constant, man. So I can imagine like a lot of kids growing up, they're getting exposed to all this, and they won't actually know what the difference is between like,
true
good
impact,
and bad, or the true impact of it. Whereas I think with our generation, as we started to get exposed to it, I think it's a bit of a difference between. It's mad because when I actually think about it, a lot of people that I grew up with that competed at a really high level, they all had a kind of similar upbringing. I remember when we realised this, it was like most of us were like single parent households, not much, like not necessarily not much money, but naturally as a single parent household with a couple of kids, they're not going to have much money spare. So a lot of it was very similar. Like I remember we actually had a look at, we kind of made a joke about it just to kind of like pass the kind of serious moment that was actually in play. But it was like, there was a team I was on at one point, and there was a few boys that I'd play with other teams. There was maybe about 8 or 9 of us. Not a single one of us had our dad in our life. And it was like, surely that's not a fucking coincidence, man. Like, surely it's not. And I think as a kid growing up, those sort of things happening, naturally you end up just like fucking finding something else to dive into and do something else.
What's your social life like as a kid coming up through high school and that? Because that's like, I think it's a misconception, but it's definitely something to it, that someone that leans more on the gaming side of things is looking for that escape from the reality side of things. Yep. Do you agree with that? Childhood
was, I guess, well, we answer this question probably from experience. My childhood growing up was, it's weird, man. I've journaled on this a few times. I've also like dug into it a good amount in therapy as well, which for context, like as a business owner, by the way, would recommend therapy tenfold. Not to necessarily go into all the kind of trauma side of things or anything that you go through necessarily as a childhood perspective, but any business related mindset problem or any challenge you've got, having someone you can go to that's non-biased, that you're able to just offload. The amount of times I've offloaded something, that'd be like, conflict has happened in the business, I've fucking had a bit of like a kind of angry response to it, I go and journal on it afterwards, I'm like, why the fuck did I respond that way, man? Like, why was I so aggravated by it? I take it to therapy, and then I unravel that it's actually something that happened when I was like fucking 9 years old. It's crazy. So I went on a fucking mad tangent now. Where was I going with that?
Just the social life and
social life, yeah. So as I was growing up, I definitely was in primary school, bit of an outcast at times. High school, bit of an outcast at times, just like naturally would kind of fall into that kind of outcast like pole. And it's mad because gaming was probably the one thing I was really good at along with football. And football kind of got me a level of respect.
Yeah, because it's like what the popular guys doing it.
Yeah, for sure. So when I fucked my knee, and I was in high school at the time, fucked my knee, I'll never forget it, mate. In PE, I was always first or second pick for football, always. Fucked my knee, was out of PE for over a year, came back the next year, and it was like I had 2 left feet, mate. I couldn't control the ball properly, and I was right-footed, so I couldn't control the ball, couldn't do any keepy-ups. I was unbalanced, I kept falling over, like full shebang. I was second last pick, mate, in PE when my first session back. And I remember getting home, mate, and being fucking super upset, man, telling my gran about it, because my gran used to take me to football and all sorts of stuff. Really upset, mate, and I said, what the fuck am I going to do? Like, my life is like, I felt like my life was gone, and it was like, I remember the piss getting taken out of me, people laughing, feeling like that kind of outcast, and then I magically, mate, like just like 4 or 5 weeks later, just everything went back to normal. I was back to normal. I was able to play football properly again. And I read a book, it's called The Talent Code by Daniel Coyle, and it speaks about your myelin levels within your brain. Through repetition, your brain signals start to fire quicker. Mm-hmm. And basically, because I'd done such little repetitions over that year, because I've been so fucked, my myelin levels had diluted completely, and I
lost stability.
Yeah,
It's like someone who comes to me and they've worked out before, and like, I used to be able to do this, and it's like, give it a week. Just give it a week. Like, through repetitions, you'll see that come back very quickly. That
was the exact same for me, bro. So after, 5-6 weeks, back to normal again, like smoking people on the pitch, fucking feeling good about how I was playing, and then again back up to first, second pick, things were like relatively normal again. And it's like, if it wasn't for football, I probably would have been quite a heavy outcast at school, but I had the respect from there, and also in the gaming side of things, outcasted heavily, mate. I remember wee story, never spoke about this in any podcast or content, to be fair, only people close to me. I started a YouTube channel when I was 16, right? So at 16, that rule came into play where 18 plus, you had to be to play Call of Duty at any level. So I was like, fuck it, I'll just go and play another game for 2 years and just have some fun elsewhere, and I'll come back. So I played a game called Destiny. At the time, it only just kind of first came about. There wasn't any competitive players playing it, so I went on it, mate, and I started wiping the floor to the point that I was literally, the competitive was a 3v3 environment, so 3 players each side.
Trials.
Yeah, trials, fucking class. I was so nuts at that, mate, that I was 1v3 for 9 wins. So I'd do the full 9 games. And
what a grind that was, man.
Oh, it was so fun, mate. So fun. So people started paying me to just carry them in the games so they could get the rewards. And I remember saying to my big cousin at the time, I was like, I've not played against anyone that's as good as me, and it's not a delusional thing. I genuinely believe I'm the best player in this game. I'm going to start a YouTube channel. And I went under a new name so my friends wouldn't know. It's called Arizos at the time. I was like, I'm going to go under a new name so my friends can't find me and all that shit.
Where'd the name come from?
Random. Just random. I used to be me.
You start a new Xbox Live like Slinky232.
Yeah, just random shit would come up, man. Random stuff. So started this YouTube channel. I think I put up maybe 2 videos. And I'll never forget the group chat that I was in at the time, 20 kind of lads and girls from school. Out of nowhere, mate, YouTube link gets put in. It's my fucking YouTube channel, mate. And it was just like, I remember being in my back garden and just seeing it and being like, the shame and embarrassment like waving over me.
Because you were playing the game?
Because I was
game, or because you were gaming in general?
Gaming in general, trying to do a YouTube channel, posting content, like that sort of shit. And I remember I one of the boys had put it in the chat, and it just started just like pelters, just howling, embarrassing, like taking the piss out what I was doing. And I deleted it, mate.
Aye.
Just deleted the channel, man. Deleted the channel completely.
You stopped playing that game?
Nah, I kept playing it. I just was like, content's not for me. I'll just kind of park that.
The mad thing is, if you had to grow up in today's age, well more accepted.
Well, this is what I was going to say to you, mate. So after time started to evolve, right, and I remember it was Black Ops 3 was one of the first games, right, that all of that friendship group started playing COD profusely, right? Who was the first one that phoned every single day? Fucking me.
Aye.
Can you come on? Can you play? Can you come on? Can you come on? I remember I got my name changed in the group chat from some other thing that was some sort of taking the piss thing to Scump.
Aye.
Because they were like, oh, he's Scump,
Scottish
he's
Scump.
fucking nuts, he's this, he's that. I remember one of the times I was like laying in bed, 1 o'clock in the morning, one of the boys, so I actually really liked, phoned me, he was like, mate, I'm in this public game just now, and this guy says he's fucking better than you, mate, and I'm telling you he's no, but he's arguing with me. Can you come on and 1v1 him? Can you come on and play him? And I was like, oh, cool. Rolled out of bed, played the guy, beat him like 30-4 or something, went back to bed, came out of school the next day, and the lad came up to me and was like, I was fucking nuts, mate. I can't believe you came on and done that, man. Your jokes. And it was like the transition, the change, mate. It was like people started loving gaming. People started...
It's because the cooler people or the more popular people started playing it, whereas gaming was seen as I said, the stereotypical, it's the geeks and all that sort of stuff.
100%, mate.
Like, I think what year were you born? 99, right. So I was born in 93, and we were just catching the tail end of this. There wasn't much content getting created, but I didn't start doing any sort of the content side of things until I was, what age was I? 24, 25, so I was way later than that side of things. But it's a shame, man, because I wonder where that would have ended up. But what was the lesson in that for you? Have you dug deeper into what that's actually done for you now? Has it benefited you, or has it brought up some?
Definitely benefited me. So in terms of your initial question was around like, how does someone go from gaming into like running a business and almost like running a community or a network as it initially started, and then now into like a kind of coaching evolution? It's like, I think when I reflect on the gaming stuff and how it progressed, it eventually progressed into me being a full-time streamer. And that's where, during COVID, for any context, to skip a couple of years from 18 to like 20, 21, I ended up finding a space in a college to do accountancy. Didn't have any qualifications for accountancy. They just let me in somehow to do a HNC. Went in, done that for 2 years, got a direct entry into Stirling University at like second year. Went for one semester, fucking hated it. I was like, I'm not coming back here. Then COVID happened anyways. So COVID happened. I passed all my exams because they were online.
Yeah, quite easy to get through them.
No more on that. So I had space to go into my year 3. But at the time, Warzone, mate, was fucking obsessive. Piping. Nobody else could stop playing it. It was 100%.
It's a highlight of everybody's COVID.
100%, mate.
People still talk about it. It's the best time that they've ever experienced.
So I started obviously being obsessed with that, mate. Now that's where like proper childhood level of grind came into play, where I was
an adult.
Yes, like 12 to 16 hours a day, mate, non-stop. I remember actually look back, I think I said to you before, 250 steps a day I was averaging. Not even leaving my gaff trips. That's 250 steps going up and down the stairs for water and a piss. Like,
it's crazy, isn't it? It's just you're so committed to.
So like, committed.
And it's probably that dopamine hit.
Yeah.
And I think Battle Royales done this more than anything, because this is, if you're listening, don't worry, we'll actually get on to the business talk at some point, but you essentially land in 100 people, and depends if you whatever playlist you're playing, but it's you and 100 other people, whereas typical games before PUBG and all that sort of stuff was one team v another team. It was always 1v1 type of things, or 2v2, 4v4, and this is the first time you go, fuck man, winner chicken dinner like that. I always remember that phrase, and I was like, this game is class. None of my mates would come on PUBG because it was like, it's a bit fun, but Warzone popularised that to make it accessible to everyone because of the skill level.
I think like just with COD as well, it was like such a universal game. You had a battle royale into it. It's like a really good, well ran game combined with like the max level of dopamine, where it's like Dale said, you're loaning into a game with 150 active players, and only the best is going to win that game. Like, you come number one, you're number one out of 150 players, and it's like that every single game, every 20 minutes, every 25 minutes.
Would you say at this point you've discovered, or have you looked back to figure out what insecurities you had?
Yeah, I think insecurities was definitely like not wanting to be disliked, people pleasing, like thinking that why people didn't like me at school was to do with me like not doing enough to like make them like me or whatever, like some sort of likability thing. I actually think the gaming side of things, and like streaming especially, my biggest insecurity about starting streaming was nobody's going to like me or what I do.
What made you want to start it? So I remember it being a hype, but was that just what it was? You're like, I need to get on this?
Yeah, so when I started playing Warzone, it was like, now mind you, in it, like Call of Duty was always big, but it was never that big the way it was with Warzone. And I'd loved Battle Royales, but none of the Battle Royales were big enough. So it was this kind of concoction of like two big behemoths coming together, and then 100 million players playing every single day. And it was like, I started playing it, and I just became fucking nuts, mate. And it was like, at one point, one of the boys said to me, it was like, you need to set an actual, this is a rule for anyone in business, by the way, set a fucking end goal of when you hit a certain number or thing or revenue or whatever it is, you do something as a result, and you don't think about it. You just set that goal and you do it. So for me, it was, I had to get a 4 KD on Warzone. And as soon as I got to a 4 KD overall all time, which was just like a metric in the game, so it's not really that important. But as soon as I hit that goal, buy a PC and you start streaming.
Right.
So hit that goal within like a month. And I was like, cool. And I remember I went downstairs, mum was like, I said to mum, and she was like, how much you got saved? And I was like, I got like $1,000. She was like, what have you got to lose, man? Just fucking do it. Just go for it. Like, if I can support you in any way, then you know that I am. Like, if you think this is something that you believe in, genuinely think it's going to work, then give it a fucking crack. Bought my PC, started streaming within a month. First month I made $250. Second month made about, I think it was like just shy of 500. Third month made $2,000.
Yeah.
And I was like,
this is just with the primes and donations and stuff like that?
Yeah, just like through the actual, just through Twitch itself. So no tournaments or nothing like that.
How long were you streaming?
Too many hours, man. Too many hours. I was averaging close to like 300 hours a month. So like 10 hours a day, like every day, like no time off. So, and I went 250 days in a row. That's what I mean. So when people truly get obsessed with something, it's like you can really fucking dial in on like a work ethic that is unexplainable to a lot of people. And for me, I was so dialed, mate. It was like I lived and breathed this shit. You're telling me I can get paid to just sit and play games?
So the evolution of this 250 days, how is that starting to compound, and what's going through your mind at this point?
Yeah, so obviously it starts off naturally. You're on this peak. It's like utopia. It's like I'm getting paid to play COD. This is fucking nuts. Then you start to realise if you take a day off, you make no money. Then it's like you take a week off, and people... The mad thing is about streaming as well, like people are in the habit and routine of watching you. So if you're off for a week, they find someone else. And unless you have a really loyal community, which is built through authenticity, like you truly being yourself and actually caring about your community as well when they come into play. And if you're not building that, then you take a week off, people are going to find a different streamer that they're going to watch, and that's the bottom line, because their habit is streaming. Who they watch is like a subcomponent of that habit. So if you're not on, they're going to watch someone else. You're giving them that opportunity to like basically fuck off elsewhere. So I was so obsessed with not losing that I didn't want to take a day off. And then I met my first ever mentor. His name was Posty. Spoke about him a couple of times in my own podcast. But Posty was a big gifter within my stream essentially. So he would gift me money, subscriptions, whatever you'd want to call it. And he had 6 companies across 2 continents. Used to work 2 8-hour days every day. He'd sleep in 4-hour windows. And I remember he was breaking down some of the properties he had. He had a huge office building in Florida that was like 70 rooms, 7 offices, like really well respected guy, fucking awesome guy. And yeah, like he started to kind of positively reinforce that I could do some shit in business. And I'd already had my mum at that time had already started her business, so I knew she was already in business. And he's Posty basically started to positively reinforce that like you can make something in business, by the way, with the mindset you've got, the way you apply your knowledge to gaming, that is transferable into business. Oh,
for sure. I think there's so much carryover, which on the outside looking in, you're like, playing a game, like it's entertainment. Yeah. But so see, when you're building your community of people who are tuning in to follow you, what's that like for you? Like, how are you learning about all that? Is it like trial and error? Like, how would you compare your streams to like where are that now? Like the entertainment side of things, or was it this is purely gameplay? Would you interact much at all?
Yeah, so mine was like a balance of gameplay and community. Right. Like, that was the main thing. So like I'm sure majority of people listening to this has probably read How to Win Friends and Influence People. I'd read that book at an early age, probably as from those insecurities of trying to understand how to actually build friendships. So I just lived by all those principles in that book. So people would come in, it was like I remembered their name. I remembered their name, not their alias, their Twitch name. I remembered their actual name, and I made sure that I just constantly reinforced it. And it was like people would come in, and I'm like, Bob, how you doing, mate? How was your wife's wedding? How was your
hopefully it's not the wife's wedding.
Wife's wedding, that's crazy. I was going to say, how was your wedding? Then I said wife. I was like, fuck. But I'd be asking them questions about shit that they'd said the last time they were on the
stream. Because you remembered it.
It was just this constant reinforcement. So community-wise, that kind of took care of itself. Anything personalised, people are going to love. That's why I've made within, like, that was a huge component of growing young and lazy. It was like, people want proper fucking relationships, mate. They don't want this transactional bullshit that is at all these other networking events. And that's what, obviously, YNL started as networking events. It's now much more than that. But like these networking events, man, they're transactional, it's surface level bullshit. If people can't make money off you, they're fucking out of there, mate. They don't give a fuck, and it's...
So I do want to come on to that, but I think I wanted to highlight the importance of like keeping an engaged viewership, which is quite known because I've done it firsthand as well, and I was like, man, this is hard. Like staying in like, because you have a bad game, try to kind of keep you cool and being mindful of the what's been said, and then also try to provide a level of interaction while still try to keep up a competitiveness in a game and all that sort of stuff. So I went back and I watched a couple of some older YouTube videos I found. I can't remember your name. It was like Emo. What is it? It was. Emo. So I was watching that and seen a couple of tournament plays and that you'd done. So all of that to one side. So this all started from you injuring yourself and then pouring yourself into gaming. Do you think you would have recovered better in your injury if gaming wasn't there?
100%.
Do you think that stopped you or made you be a little bit lazy with some of your rehab stuff, working on getting back to it? Lazy might not be the right word, but I only say this because I know there's a couple of my clients with their kids where they've really injured themselves. It's like, I can't get him away from his PCs, just constantly gaming. We know we need to go out, we need to do X amount of mobility drills, running, whatever it is for their road to recovery. Did that hold you back?
100%, mate. Lazy is the right word, man. Especially like as a kid, like the problem is as a kid is like I wasn't aware of what I was doing. Like at least like I wasn't self-aware enough to understand why I was doing the things that I was doing. And I remember I said, so the mad thing about the gaming side of things, I started to meet a lot of professional footballers, a lot of athletes, a lot of people that were fucking very high up, very well respected, especially in the gaming world. And Josh Gianelli was someone that I built an amazing relationship with, as well as Liam Boyce, and they both played for Hearts at the time. Gino's now at Swansea, and I built such a good relationship with them, mate, that I actually started to reflect a lot on my own childhood, and especially from the football side of things. And I think why we got along so well was the mindset that I'd developed in the gaming world was very much an athlete's mentality to competing. I didn't want any fucking excuses. I didn't want any fucking complaining. I want you to show up, you want to give it your fucking all, and if we lose, we fucking lose, mate. Like, we lose as a team, we win as a team. Kind of typical shit that you'd hear, but not many people actually live by that. So for me, when it came to the streaming side of things, it was like a positive outlet, but when it was competitive and it was go time, let's dial the fuck in. Let's really fucking switch on and really make shit happen. And I think that's where I got along with a lot of the kind of footballers as such, and that started to really reinforce to me that, like, what I was lacking when I was a kid was just the right mindset towards things, mate. And a big part of me starting the podcast and actually getting Gino was like one of my first guests on, like in terms of in person. And the first reason I wanted him on was because I wanted my 14 or 15-year-old self to hear a podcast where Gino spoke constantly about mindset. I always spoke about it in the pod, and whenever we bounced off each other, it was always that kind of foundation. And I was like, if I had that podcast when I was 14, would my life have looked different? Yes. Like when it comes to the football side of things. So 100%, mindset was the thing that was lacking back then.
Yeah. It's crazy. I think so many people need to kind of realise that, because we all get, life throws its shit curveball your way, whether it's an injury that takes you away from the sport that you love or something else. But it does, it's why like this podcast was called Bulletproof Mindset. It's not to say that you need to be indestructible or bulletproof, but it's like the traits and the tricks of what you can do to overcome the kind of a growth or develop a growth mindset.
Yep.
So through like kind of summing up the gaming side of things, when was the pivot?
Pivot was
like, when are you sitting playing this dopamine hit of constantly winning games, getting all this praise, or the kind of the rush of winning game after game or tournament, or was it the other way? Were you not performing as well in some tournaments and that was starting to eat away at you?
Yeah, so there's two turning points. One was when I first initially started the business, which was kind of the initial pivot, and then it was doing full time in the business side of things. So first initial pivot, I'd read the 4 Hour Work Week when I was 18, when I was kind of first started getting my kind of shit together, essentially started getting some help books. I came across Tim Ferriss, started reading the 4 Hour Work Week, and the main principle of that is how to run your life on working 4 hours a week. Essentially, that's the main component of it.
So just sticking with it, you mentioned a couple of times you read a couple of books. I hated books growing up. What did you find in kind of reading books? How did that come about? Is this from anyone that recommended it, or?
So I started to recognise that there'll be a lot of people that I would admire and respect, and what they would tell me to do or advise me to do, I would usually do.
Right.
And it was like, if my mum came in and done it, I'd fucking love my mum to bits, right? But it's like anything, if your mum's reinforcing the same thing, you're not going to really fucking do it, mate. So
it's also family. You don't listen to family.
Yeah. So it was my mum's business coach at the time. She recommended Secrets of the Millionaire Mind by T. Harvey Eker, which was just a book on money mindset, essentially. There's a lot of kind of woo-woo shit in it. It's about like, nothing wrong with affirmations, but a lot of it is shout fucking shit that to make you believe that you are more than what you currently are, which for some people getting started is a fucking great book to start with. Me, in hindsight now, like how many years, fucking 6-7 years on, I wouldn't read it again now. But
I am the best COD player. I am the best COD
yeah,
player.
literally, bro, over and over again. So yeah, I mean, the book side of things, that was recommended by a coach, my mum's. I had a lot of limiting beliefs around that, where didn't do much reading at school, hated fucking reading, all that sort of stuff. And I mean, I read that book in a week, and I was like, fucking really enjoyed that. Like, I got all this dopamine off the back of it, excitement, started to have belief in myself, and started to find more books. So I found the 4 Hour Work Week, How to Win Friends and Influence People, a lot of the kind of fundamental books, Rich Dad, Poor Dad, all this, the usual shit that you hear. And then that kind of built a good foundation where I've I done a series back when I first started kind of producing content for my business, try to mix the business and gaming side of things, because I knew I wanted to kind of develop into business, which was from pessimism to optimism, and like in 66 days, and how I'd done it essentially. So I was trying to take in what I'd done growing up and put it into an actual piece of content. And it was read 10 pages a day, start my day with a motivational video, and no phone for the first hour. And they were like the 3 fundamental habits, mate, that really restructured my life and how and created some predictability and like actual development. And things started to compound. And I guess that was, those kind of 3 habits. If anyone's sitting there and they're feeling like they lack purpose, they don't know what the fuck to do, start with really easy building blocks, man. It's the same shit in the gym. You'll see the same shit to your clients in it. For me, 10 pages a day, that usually turned into 15, 20, 25 pages. Yeah,
because you start to, it's the process of what you do. So it's like, what do you have to do to build, what do you have to do to lose the weight, get in shape? It's like, let's reverse engineer that. Let's look at the habits of what that person needs to do. Can you apply those habits to your life? If the answer's no, then let's find another way of getting there, because it's not one size fits all. It's the same with life.
100%. Man.
So the pivot was the 4 Hour Work Week. So you started doing a bit of both.
Yeah. So the 4 Hour Work Week, the main pivot came when I done those 250 days in a row. I met Posty, and Posty started kind of positively reinforcing a lot of the kind of business-like beliefs, and I burnt out. Was it? Actually, tell a lie. I started to just realise that, like, if I'm not live, I'm not making money. And I took a week off, came back, and my numbers had dropped massively. And it was like, there's no predictability of this. If I'm taking time off, I'm fucked. And I really gave it my all, mate, where I was playing in as many tournaments as possible, streaming as much as possible, trying to produce as much content as possible. I was the definition of working hard, but gaining not what I should be out the other end. And yeah, I kind of got to a stage where I was just like, I need something that is an actual scalable business that's not just me sitting in front of a camera all the time. So I started at the time Young Entrepreneurs Network, was what it's called, corporate as fuck, stinking. Yeah.
I remember seeing it. I was like, oh, you can see me went through like so I think the first time I came across your page, it was Yen. It was Yen, or on YouTube it was Yen. And I was like, well, that was Yen, because I knew of Yes, like the Young Entrepreneurs Society. I was like, it's fucking everybody got a mentorship these days. And then I just branched you under that chain. And then I seen you I think it was a LinkedIn post. I seen you talk about Call of Duty, and I was like, oh, fucking, I can relate to a lot of the stuff that you're saying. So I started following your journey from that. And then I seen the young and lazy branding. So where did Jen come from? Just
like the main. So like my mum was also going to things like BNI and stuff like that. These are kind of networking events, really kind of just older average age group, like 40, 50, 60, some of the groups. And I'm sitting there at 18, like really no idea, like nobody close to my age, nobody relatable. And
who's your friends in your life at this point? Have you got many people that isn't through gaming?
I had a mini group chat with like two other people, which was like Jamie and Scott at the time. And Jack, who obviously like works with me now, he was just like a friendship I maintained. It wasn't within that group, but I would still touch base and game with him naturally. So yeah, that was kind of, to be fair, that big friendship group just phased out into just like distilled into those couple of friends that I'd speak with and go out with. But yeah, so where was I going with that?
So I take it, well, the reason I asked that question was that I take it you've seen a gap for, it's like, man, like I really like the idea of kind of building my own business, but so I've been to some of these events as well, and thinking out loud, I've been like, oh man, there's tons of just older people. How nice would it be just to have similar people, similar age groups, because we all grew up in the same era, most likely with Call of Duty through COVID, and then from a mindset perspective, you start to click with people. So is that where it came from for you?
Yeah, for sure, mate. So it was like, went to those BNI events, felt like shite, started to try and find other things that were for young entrepreneurs. Went to a young professionals event was what I went to. Went there, mate, was there for 2 hours, didn't speak to anyone that was in business. Like, there was just nothing.
What was it like? Like just everybody's in shirts and ties and
it was like after work, man. It was like people just rolled up after work in their suits for a pint and like a drink, and it was, I remember just sitting there and just thinking like this wasn't what I thought it was going to be. My expectations weren't met. And eventually that just led me to think like, if I'm feeling this way, there's going to be other people that are feeling this way. I may as well start my own.
See, before you start your own, where was your head going business-wise? Because you're at a crossroads with the streaming. Yeah. And you're like, what do I want to do other than the streaming side of things? Did you have any other business ideas?
Yes, I ran a custom sneakers business with my two mates at the time, which was just like customizing trainers. So it was Emily and Scott. Emily was the fashion designer. Me and Scott would do whatever the fuck me and Scott done to try and run the business. Definitely overthought a lot of that stuff, especially the marketing as well. But yeah, no, we had that first. That kind of just fizzled out naturally. And then, Young Entrepreneurs Network, which I was meant to start with someone else, with this woman who was a similar age to me at the time. That relationship didn't really work out. It was just like she had her own business already. She was kind of committing her external time to that.
Right.
And that just kind of fizzled out. And that was actually pre-COVID. So those kind of businesses to that point, pre-COVID, so before the kind of streaming stuff. I also done some Forex, tried to trade, got scammed, got fucked like every other young guy. Like everyone's been fucked. Everybody's
selling the dream. Do you know, it's the one thing I've never touched is trading. And I hear so many people, like you said, it's like, get into Forex, look, you can turn 50 quid into 250 quid in one day. And you see them posting all the snapshots. So was that another scam then?
If anyone gets messaged by Harrison Newman on Instagram,
fuck him.
Delete that fucking
fuck Harris.
This guy fucking rinsed me differently, but it's my own fucking fault, man. Fucking
all lessons into it. It's all lessons in a journey. 100%. You don't want to hear that when you've lost the money, but you look back at it at some point and you're like, and that's the power of a mindset, a good growth mindset.
100%, mate. So I dabbled in a few of those things like trading, custom sneakers. Tried to kind of start the Young Entrepreneurs Network prior to COVID, but and then also still kind of dabbling at uni during that time period. And then COVID happened, started the streaming side of things, started to get to that kind of period of pivoting. I decided I'm going to start it. Just basically fucking started it while still streaming. So I basically changed my schedule where I'd run the business from 6 until 1 p.m. And then I'd stream from 2 until whatever time I finished up. So sometimes 10, sometimes 8, sometimes 12 o'clock at night.
Depends how the games are going.
Depends if there's a tournament on or something like that.
What's your health like during this point?
Pretty bad, for sure. I think we briefly spoke about it. I don't know if it was off camera on the podcast we've done already, but I'd done a Thriver blood check, and it came back that my cholesterol levels were like highly abnormal, was what it said, like on the actual scale.
Top 5 situation, does that constant? Imagine being at that 12 hours a day.
Fucking yeah. I actually didn't even think about that. It was actually the podcast we've done together. You made me really recognise what things could play a role in that. I instantly just think like cholesterol, bad cholesterol is unhealthy. You're eating a lot of shit, you're not doing much exercise, but there is actual other
components, My heart rate, so the great thing about these Garmin's and watches these days, you never had them growing up, and see when I go back to gaming sometimes now, always play Battle Royales, and I'm like, See when you win one, I'm like, fucking feel great, and I look at my watch, I'm like, 140 beats, man. I was like, the fuck's happened there? So it's crazy, like what that can do, and that is a stress component. I think it's something that is easily overlooked. That like stress, like that's what I do as a personal trainer when I work with clients. Is managing stress. The gym is a stress, so if your life's already stressful, we need to somehow manage that. We don't want to hit you with high intensity work. Like, can I get you breathing and get you releasing that in the right manner? And most people who live highly stressed individuals, they usually seek out more highly stressful engagements to release. And it sounds like that's maybe something that you were doing. Going from one stressful part of your business to the stressful part of gaming, because that's your quote unquote release.
100%, mate. I couldn't agree more, man. But yeah, so I went through that 250 days streaming full time, decided, you know what, I'm gonna start my own business essentially alongside it. But that actually just doubled the amount of work I was doing, obviously. So I was already working tremendously hard on one side of things, try to balance both of them, and through trying to balance both of them, I just fully burnt out, man. I remember I was staying at Bex's house one of the evenings, woke up, I had 4 calls from 8 AM until 12, and I woke up, and one thing that I just randomly forgot to talk about, when I was 15, my appendix burst.
All right.
Which, yeah.
Was this after your... this was after your...
Yeah. So
what happened there?
Got back into football, everything was sweet. Literally was just laying in bed one of the evenings, fucking started getting this pain in my side. I was like, the fuck is this? Now I have IBS, so naturally any stomach pain, you instantly just think, I need
it's written off, yeah.
It's IBS. So yeah, started having some problems with my side, started to spread into my other side, which is one of the main kind of symptoms of potentially anything to do with your appendix. My whole abdomen, mate, was just fucked, and I probably like an insecurity, or I don't know what it is, something as a kid, but I hate going to the doctors, but see that feeling of like you've got something drastically wrong with you. Like, I hate that feeling of just being told that. It's like this anxiety. And I knew something was pretty badly wrong, but I was just like, go away. So I went like nearly 3 days, mate, without any sleep. And every time my mum would come in, I'd pretend I was sleeping. Anyone fucking listen to this, by the way, do not fucking do that. Like, I literally... it burst. It burst. And if it wasn't, madly enough, my mum came in. I remember my mum coming into my room 7 o'clock before she was leaving for work at the time. She was still working full time. And I rolled over, pretended I was sleeping. She left the room, I rolled back over. I was like, oh, fucking hell, fucking Jesus, my fucking side. And it wasn't until my gran came in at 9 o'clock, mate, so 2 hours later, she was like, how are you doing? And at that point, man, I hadn't ate for 3 days. I was fucked. I said to her, I was like, I feel fucked. Like, I genuinely feel fucked. And she was like, can you stand up for me? Could not stand. And she was like, John, we need to get you to the hospital, like, just now. She phoned the doctors first, went to the doctors and went in. Doctor took one look at me, mate, and he was like, can you try and pee in a bottle for me? Pee in a bottle. And it was like, the scale, the fucking scale for the appendicitis, it was red.
What was it?
And he was like, your appendix is burst. We need you at the hospital, like, right now. By the time I got to the hospital, I started to basically pass out. My granddad put me in a wheelchair, like wheelchair down, straight in emergency surgery. I done a Google on it. I think it's changed now in terms of the mortality rate, but at the time of looking it up, I remember speaking to my mum about it afterwards. My mum was distraught, mate. 40% chance of living.
Was it after it's burst, is it?
After it's fully burst, because your poison's going full into your system. I remember looking recently, it's changed, that it's much more successful nowadays.
More technology and stuff.
Probably. But yeah, 40% chance of living. So why did I even bring up the appendix bursting? What was I even saying with that?
So you were saying like how you were burning out stuff. Yeah.
So one of the things that's shame, should the camera
always.
So when it comes to the appendix stuff, there is a part of appendicitis where you kind of, through a trauma like that, it's almost like your body relives some of the pain. So I started to get to a stage where I was burning out. And I remember I woke up in Bex's room. It was like 6 o'clock. I was getting up ready to leave, and I had the same pain in my side when my appendix burst when I was 15. I was like, what the fuck is going on? So I Googled it, and it was like, can you have appendicitis again if you don't have an appendix? And it was like, no, like, obviously you fucking can't. But it was along the lines of like, your body can sometimes relive the pain essentially. So I was like, I don't know what the fuck's going on there. So I was like, oh, fuck it, I'll just leave it anyways. Got back to the house, got ready for my first call at 8, and I started to feel really weighty. Like, I was I looked at myself in the Zoom, man. I was chalk white. I was like, fuck, I'm feeling fucked. Hopped on this first call. I did run off the call pretty much. It was pretty peak. This nice young guy as well, man. Like, probably thought he
was it signing up as well?
Yeah, fuck those,
induction
mate.
call.
Never found out. But yeah, no, I ran out the toilet. I just sat in my bathroom floor, mate. Just like, what the fuck is going on? And my mum came in and she was like, "You look fucked." And I was like, "I feel fucked." And at that time, I'd learned my lesson from the appendix stuff, so I just started saying to her everything I'm feeling. And she was like, you're burning out for sure. So she was like, "You're not streaming this afternoon. You're not streaming for the full weekend. It's on a Friday." She's like, "You're not streaming the full weekend. Cancel all your calls." She was like, "Actually, send me the numbers of all your calls. I will contact them myself and just act as someone within the business. I'll reschedule all the calls for you. Do not fucking move your bed. I'll cook you lunch, dinner, breakfast, whatever. You will chill the fuck out for this weekend."
What does chill look like for you at this point?
At that time, it was just like Netflix, watch YouTube, watch other people play the
stream,
watch them play the same game. So yeah, no, it was just like strictly like no controller in hand, nothing, just like
brain
watching stuff. Kind of like getting out for a couple of walks as well. Like that was something that I didn't do enough of during that time period. That definitely started to help quite a bit.
Do you think this was like, so burnout is obviously what we're saying this is, but do you think it's a combination of everything, like not working on or doing anything that's positively reinforcing your health?
For sure. I mean, that stacked up with like, because like a lot of these things are just, it's almost like, I see it as like a equilibrium, like there's this kind of balance point where it's like going to the gym, doing any form of exercise. Like I played a 7-a-side tournament yesterday, fucking class, mate. Like the level of feeling during it, but also how you feel afterwards. There's all these sorts of different components that if you're just disregarding all of that, man, like eventually it compounds to a stage of it negatively impacting you. And you also, I think the gym and any sort of endurance, it builds a level of belief in your own mind and also builds a level of just mental strength in general. That's why I love the kind of bulletproof mindset side of things in terms of like that name as a whole, because through these other things that are physical challenges, you're building something that mentally makes you fucking super strong.
Yeah, it's like adversity. It's like a layer of resilience that's getting built brick by brick in your mind through physical and emotional challenges, or whatever you want to call it.
100%, mate.
So you pivoted like 100%. So is after this weekend, was it like, right, I need to give one of these up, or did you already make your mind up? So at this point?
That was the initial kind of like, okay, this is like not going to be good for me. I need to start to work out what I'm going to do next, essentially, or what I'm going to start to focus on. So I kind of started like almost like a mission, figure out what I'm going to do full time. Like, what am I going to drop? I'm going to drop the business, I'm going to do streaming. And I remember not maybe a few weeks later, I played a really big tournament. It was like a 25 grand prize pool. It was an invite only tournament. Managed to get an invite to it on Warzone. And we were sitting first until the second last game. We ended up finishing third. So we won 6 grand. Should have won, must have not been 25 grand. Must have been more than that, because first was 15. So first would have been 15. Third was 6. And it must have been way more than that prize pool wise. But anyways, we won 6 grand. And I remember the tournament finished at like 11:30, fucking summer night, scorching. I've got 2 PCs on in my fucking room. It's a hot box and a half. It's like a sauna. And I go outside, mate, and I'm sitting on my kind of back doorstep. And I'm like it's something for a movie. I'm looking up into the sky. I'm just like, what the fuck am I doing, man? Like, I'm half-arsing 2 things. And I'm doing not so bad on both of them, to the point that gaming-wise, I'm still competing with these fuckers at the highest level. When I'm trying to run a fucking business in the morning, I'd been up 18 hours, I'd had fucking blueberries and raspberries all day, rather than fucking any actual food. And I'm still showing up and nearly fucking winning the tournament. Like, imagine I either 1, full-arsed this, or 2, full-arsed the business shit. And business was the highest ceiling, highest leverage. And I just said, cool. Initiation phase starts now. I'm doubling down on business. I set a kind of time period. So around about that time, it was like July, August-ish time. I was like, by the end of this year, I'm fully phased out. And fully phased out in basically by before Christmas.
I was going to say, I went back and seen like one of your first posts on Instagram on the the Young and Lazy page was like September 2021, so it was around about then. It was like, right, I'm doubling down here.
That was when I started to double down, for sure, man. So yeah, that was when I fully phased out, and then fully into business.
Went into that. So you were building up clients and all this sort of stuff. So it started as a networking side of things. What did that look like during COVID? Like events. Virtual Zoom?
Networking events every 2 weeks, virtually through Zoom. I leveraged the kind of gaming network I'd built, so all the footballers I'd met, the athletes, brought them as the speakers. Because as well, it's like, how do you start a network without a network? It's like chicken and the egg, like what actually comes first. So the footballers and the kind of speakers that brought this kind of order around what it was that I was doing, brought it kind of a bit of excitement around it, got to a stage where I was hosting the kind of networking events every 2 weeks, something like that, which was pretty cool. Started to realise I fucking hated running them. Massively introverted, running networking events doesn't really sync up. But once again, it was like I started a business to solve a problem that I was experiencing. That was the bottom line. So it didn't matter whether I was introverted or not. I was still experiencing the problem that I was trying to solve. So I started the networking events. They were every 2 weeks. They were for an hour and a half. Bring on a speaker, and then speaker into like breakout rooms. Breakout rooms would just be to talk about business and kind of pitch to each other. And then I started to realise, like, I've actually just created a BNI or a networking event, but just for young entrepreneurs. And it's like, is that really just what I want to do, man? Like, I just copy and pasted the same format, the same structure for, like, just a different age group. Like, and what I started to realise was the problem. It's like, we were charging 25 quid a month at the time. People wouldn't stay for longer than 3 months. Right. They'd come in, they'd build the relationships. Aye. And to have the relationships, why do they have to come every single week? So LT, like, retention was fucking terrible, cheap as fuck. I was hopping on sales calls for fucking 25 quid a month. Mental, absolutely mental. But you don't know any better at that time.
What was the income looking like for the business at this point for you? So you finished streaming, and I would have like that $6,000 payout. Was that one of the largest monetary months that you'd had from a streaming perspective?
The $2,000 payout, is it? Yeah.
Aye.
Yeah, so the $2,000 payout was the most. So when I stopped streaming, I was probably averaging between like 500 to like $1,000 a month consistently. Some months it'd be like 1.5 to 2. That tournament that we won, for example, that was like 1.5k in each person's pocket. So some months it was like you could make up to like $3,000 from tournaments and earnings. So
and this is the risk of it. I'm just trying to go through your thought process, because it's a risk everyone takes when they're running their side hustle, I guess, if we want to call it that. And it's like, man, I really want to do this, but I'm scared to lose this little pot of income that's coming in. So that drops. What was your first couple of months like with the networking side?
Yeah, it was rough, man, because I think it was like close to like, what, 750 quid a month, like really not much. But there's two angles of why I attack this. Like, if you're a fucking young guy or a young girl and you're still living with your parents and you've really got not much to lose with this shit, like,
this is your time. This
is your fucking time, man, because things are going to start stacking up and it's going to become, did you call it the golden handcuffs or something like that? Was that
no, what did it? No, there was a phrase I said in yours, but it wasn't that. But yeah, your responsibilities do stack up, and I wouldn't say there's a time where you can't do it. I think you always can, being honest. But yeah, man, I wish I was like, man, I should have started this when I was living with my mum. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and I think the support of my mum made that easier. But it was like, there was never from my mum, it was like she wanted to see me trying. She wanted to see me giving my all, and she's seen me burning out. She's seen me showing up for fucking 12 to 16 hours a day. She knows that I'm fucking giving it my all. So it's like, there was an element of, I do have this kind of safety net, which was the accountancy stuff, where I could go back and be an accountant if I wanted to be, or like I have this support. And crazily enough, man, like some people think like by just like jumping like balls deep, sink the boats, like I'll find a way to make it work. That was very much me, but the one boat I still had was like my mum. And not necessarily from like a financial support. Like my mum never fucking like,
I carried you through
that. Carried me that way, but it was more like emotional and like mental support, like, and just belief, man. It was this unshakable level of belief, almost like a delusional set of belief. And it's mad because Bex now,
When did you meet Bex? I was going to ask you, like, was this through this journey?
Yeah, through this journey, man. She was.
So there you go. There's hope out there. If you're a gamer, you can
100%.
still get girlfriends.
100%, mate. She fucking loved that side of things, to be fair, man, which was cool. But yeah, we've been together for nearly 5 years now, which is pretty mad. So yeah, she was there throughout that whole kind of journey. Now, the stuff with my mum, yeah, like the level of support was more from a belief standpoint and just like really amplifying that I can do this and I can make it happen. And because she was in business herself, doing it firsthand, I was seeing her like achieving success and signing clients and really smashing it. That for me, it kind of opened my eyes to like, this is possible. I just need to dial the fuck in. So I was doing maybe like 750 quid a month. Probably got up to about $1,000, between 1 and like 1.4k.
Just purely with the networking.
Just with the networking event stuff. But that's talking like, I had a lot of different people churning in all the time. I was working ridiculous hours, below minimum wage.
So you're bringing you're putting a lot of effort in for minimum return. £1,600 sounds good, but you break it down, it's like the streaming. Like if you break the hours down to streaming, it's probably like 90 pence an hour.
Yeah, it's a joke. It's an absolute joke. So yeah, I think with that side of things, I very much started to recognise that the networking event side of things, the crazy thing is, right, when you first start your business, you start lower pricing because you have a lower level of belief, right, in yourself and what it is that you can provide and the value you can provide. You've got no feedback before, you've got no confidence levels. There is, especially if you're starting something that's not requires any qualifications. Like, if you've not got any sort of certification behind you that tells you that you can do what it is that you're doing, you're very much just kind of pissing in the wind and you're like, I think this is going to be valuable, but I'm not entirely sure. And if you have a good set of models, you're probably going to be along the lines of like, I'll just charge less and then I'll just increase the price and once people get value. My big learning point during that time period was that I was doing way more than 25 quid worth of value, obviously. Managed to get some people in 50 and 60 quid a month fucking per month memberships. And I was doing like weekly calls with them, like 1-to-1.
Yeah, you were over delivering like mad.
100%. And it was a coach I had at the time, man. She just started ripping to shreds how much I was charging. Started ripping to shreds what I was doing and almost making me feel stupid for how little I was charging. And she started to really shift my kind of money mindset towards charging somewhat of my worth, essentially. But a big thing for me was that I didn't believe that I was delivering anywhere near enough value to my target audience in terms of providing them what they were looking for. The networking events was just one component of it. They wanted so much more than that.
That should have been the byproduct of being in the membership.
100%. So for me, I had a kind of epiphany moment where it was like, I learned so much in the game side of things. I became fucking nuts at the game through doing what? Repetition on obviously a daily basis, but reps in an environment around other people that were just as obsessed with me. And in that environment with other people that were just as obsessed as me, I started to ask them questions, brainstorm ideas, problem solve. If I had any sort of challenge, I was taking it to other people and we were brainstorming together and we were doing it for everyone. And I was like, why don't I just create that same environment in business? So I started focus groups, what they're called, and I was like, we'll do a weekly focus group and it will just be dedicated to like idea brainstorming or problem solving or fucking like any sort of like open office, whatever it is, we'll hop on and we'll discuss anything business. And everyone will have like 15 minutes each. So I took 3 members out of those, however many were attending events, took the idea to them. They fucking loved it. We had a weekly session. They paid me 50 quid a month for a weekly session, like as a group together. And they fucking loved it, man. They absolutely loved it. And I was like, cool. How do I do this now at scale? Tripled my pricing because of the feedback I was getting. So part of them being on the 50 quid a month, I was like, you guys are going to give me feedback to what we can do to improve it. Over 2 months, started to improve it drastically every single week with feedback. People started getting results. People's businesses started to grow. People started to make more shit happen essentially through the event, through the sessions, and people were implementing everything that was coming up in the sessions, and it really started to give me positive reinforcement that like people need this, people are going to get value from it. So we went up to £150 a month. I'll never forget, mate, the week that I put up the £150 a month, I signed 6 clients in 1 week. 900 quid a month in retainers, and I was like, oh my fucking
And those
God.
6 people were probably more than the previous 6 months, bro, combined.
Literally. So that kind of where the belief started to shift. And that's where the model started to change away from the networking events and doing more stuff like that.
So see, going back to like the mindset around money, I think this is something, and I've said it a couple of times in the podcast, in Scotland, in the UK, the like, why charge more when you can charge less and all, and get more people involved. What was the key lessons and takeaway from your own experience through it?
If you're a people pleaser, man, and you fucking like want to over deliver all the time for people, and you have limiting beliefs around money especially, you're like low ticket, high volume, you're going to be delivering high ticket level of delivery. Like, unless you get to a stage where you've got hundreds of clients at low ticket. The most important thing is, man, is like during the sales process, you're setting expectations of what people are going to get from yourself. And you'd be fucking pleasantly surprised what people really expect for how much it is that you're paying. So for absolute transparency, we just paid 15 grand for 3 months mentorship from Phil Graham, he runs a huge mastermind group in the kind of fitness space. And he's one of the only guys that I've seen run a mastermind group that are like actually authentic and actually genuine. And I've studied his content for a good 2 years. And I messaged him at the start of last month and I just said, look, we're looking for a mentor that is in our exact space from an aspect of running a mastermind group. You're the only guy that I can see that is like fully fucking genuine and authentic. And I'm curious of whether or not you'd like to work with us, because in the forefront, it's only fitness entrepreneurs that he works with. Went to him, he came back, he asked us to send over everything about our business, what revenue we were doing, how many clients we had, the structure of the business, the hires, like everything. So I sent it all over to him and he asked for our top 3 constraints. Went back to him, literally like gave him it all. He provided us with a couple of offers. We decided to go with the 15 grand up front for 3 months. 1 coaching session a month. That's what we're getting.
Yeah.
So 5 grand a month for 1 session a month. And also like access to his kind of curriculum and all his resources, plus like basically like a kind of WhatsApp like SOS like stuff, like anything we need help with, he'll help us, and it'll be kind of like a response time, a response rate. We paid 15 grand for that. Now, why are we paying 15 grand for that? Because we believe that he is the guy that's going to get us to that next level, and it doesn't matter how he does it. The itinerary doesn't matter. It doesn't matter if he does it on a weekly basis or a monthly basis. It doesn't matter if he does it fucking once every 6 months. It doesn't matter if he gives us a full blueprint when we show up on that first day and we follow that. We just want the result. And that's a big difference, man. If you're wanting to charge premium pricing, you can charge whatever the fuck you want as long as you deliver on the result that you promise.
Well, yeah, that's what I think. So there's a couple of things I do want to get into with the mastermind chat. But when you break it down, when you're starting out, do you think you could have joined something like Phil Game, whether you had the money or not to do this at the start of your journey, but for someone to turn around and say to you, here, look, you should be charging more? Yep. Do you think you had to go through that experience of not knowing if you've got the right product or going through the trial and error period? Or are you a believer that if you've got belief in what you're doing, charge the high ticket? Where are you at with that?
I think it's the pain. So for me, it was like the pain of over delivering and getting fuck all in return. Right. It was like, business can't be this way. And I started to get exposed to other people that were charging premium pricing that
we're doing less.
Yeah, we're doing like far less. And it was like, how the fuck, how are you doing that? How are you working two days a week, making 5 figures a month when I'm working fucking 6 days a week, 7 days a week, making 1.4k? Do you know what I mean? What's the script? So yeah, I think for me, it was going through the pain of that, but also being willing to try and figure it out. And I think that's where a lot of people stop. They don't try and figure it out. Yeah.
It's like, oh, this isn't for me.
Yeah.
I could instead of going, I could never charge that. It's like, well, why don't you get a couple of people to pay you less, and see what sort of results you deliver, see what sort of experience you can deliver, see if that's what you want to do. It's like you pivoted dead quickly.
Yeah.
So masterminds, then, they get a bad rap. I think in today's world, I don't know if you follow much of like American business models.
Yeah,
but the UK, in my opinion, like with the coaching space, because that's been my expertise for the last, well, it's what I've been obsessed with for the last 10 years. What I've seen happening by listening to American podcasts, the UK usually follows with the fitness trends like 2-3 years behind. And I heard on podcasts I used to listen to, like the whole mastermind shit show that would go on in America, and I feel that that's starting to happen in the UK a wee bit more.
Yep.
Are you a believer of that, or are you Do you think it is? Is that what you've seen?
100% I believe in that, mate. I think like.
So I get. What's the misconception you think around masterminds first of all? Because you've chosen the path to go down this route.
So I get excited by the thought process that it's saturated with shite, because I think I had this conversation not too long ago with like just kind of like a friend that's like not really within business, and I spoke about how in the future I'll own a steak restaurant, right? And it's like I understand the hospitality like at a level that majority of like any restaurants out there, like if you want a shite experience, there's plenty of restaurants out there that you can first spring to mind straight away. They're shite. And it's like, they're probably turning over like a good fucking bit of dough and they're probably doing no bad. And it's like, I feel like I could go in and dominate that fucking space from like a hospitality standpoint. Now, the mate that I was at dinner with at the time, he was like, yeah, but that fucking shit's saturated. And I was like, that's exactly why I'd want to do it. Because it's so easy for me to fucking stand out and dominate that, you know, be able to dominate and stand out in a saturated market is something that, I don't know why it excites me. It excites me. Maybe it's a competition side of things.
It's probably the competitiveness.
All the competitiveness. Now, I think with the mastermind side of things, most groups out there are like, up until this point, right, we've never promised tangible results. And we have never promised on a sales call that we will take you from $3,000 a month to $10,000 a month. So even though we're a mastermind that's providing with resources and almost like an element of coaching, we have never put that at the front of our sales process, right? Now our pricing for YNL just now is $197 a month, $197 plus VAT, and that is being sold on the foundation of you getting an incredible fucking community, coming through an intense vetting process, only coming in if we believe you're the right fit, and fucking sticking to that. Like, we will not override that, and we have never promised results in the forefront, like at the front of it, even though we did operate, or we have been operating like a mastermind group. Now, majority of mastermind groups out there, when you see them, all of them are results driven, right? And the first thing that Phil exposed us to, for example, is that if they're results driven, what is the fucking main component of promising a result? You need to fucking deliver on it. Like, you need to deliver on it. And it's like, majority of masterminds get a fucking terrible rap because they promise a result and they don't deliver. Then people are burned. It's the same with marketing agencies just now. There are shite marketing agencies out there. They burn a company and the company doesn't want to touch marketing agencies again. So they try and do it all themselves, or they bring in someone in-house, or they bring in an intern, and then it's shite because they're coming straight out of uni and they don't actually really know how to market because they've not been in an actual, it's all theory. And it's the same shit with, like, within mastermind groups, where it's just like, people are getting promised a result, it's not getting delivered, and there is no way to cover your own arse when you're joining these groups is the other thing as well. So for us, we've always operated with a killer guarantee, which is like, if you come in within that first 30 days you want to leave, you get a full refund. Never negotiated on that on any client, no matter what they've came to us with. So we've had, up until last month, we've never had any ask for a refund in the first month, and we've always clarified that on the sales call. This offer is here and this guarantee is in place for your buyer safety. Essentially, we want to make sure that you know that we wouldn't sell this to you and deliver you 30 days of value and give you all this shit for you to then trigger and leave. We're selling you this because we believe that this is what you need, and this is what genuinely is helpful, and this is why, and we'll explain why also on the sales call. Now, with majority of mastermind groups, because they're giving you a lot of resources and stuff, they won't offer that level of guarantee, because they think you'll come in, you'll take the resources and you'll fuck off, and then you'll just ask for a refund anyways, and you've got all the resources and you got your money back. So they're trying to cover their own arse, right? But see, if your vetting process is good enough, man, you can feel out the people that are just in there for that shit. And sometimes you're going to get it wrong, man. Sure, that's fine. We've had people come in that haven't been the right fit. One of my biggest questions to Phil was, how do we scale at high volume with minimal churn? And really what the question was, how do we scale at high volume while still maintaining the same level of vetting process? That's mainly what it was. Because I can tell straight a fucking way from hopping on a call with a guy if he's wanting to join our group to sell his fucking own program. I can tell for a mile away, mate. I can tell. There was a guy, we had a financial advisor. Financial advisors, by the way, fucking rife for trying to join groups to get referrals. Oh my God, mate. Every time I see one come through, we get about 100 applications a month. That's not a random number, by the way. Like, anywhere, I think last month we got like close to 160, 170 applications. But averaging it over the year. Averaging it over the year is probably 100.
Excuse me.
You're all good.
Water went down the wrong way.
Yeah, so we have 100 applications. Financial advisors especially, mate. out of all the financial advisors we've had come through our applications, we've signed one.
Really? Fucking hell.
Because majority of them, mate, I remember we had a guy, right, and he was actually really nice, mate, really nice guy. I got the impression he was genuine. I kind of got this little underlying kind of undertone of like he was wanting business from joining. Now, one of our kind of rules is like, if you're joining just to get business, we are not the right group for you. Because like a mastermind group is something that you're joining for resources, for people to learn from each other and to grow your businesses together. And most masterminds will have like a niche of some sort that they'll be dedicated to. For us, that's another thing as well. Like, we are primarily young entrepreneurs and we're not industry specific. Yeah. Now, that's more hard work on our end, and we're very aware of that. If we were industry specific, we could have specific resources for that industry and we'd get better results. We are aware of that. We stuck to our guns with the young entrepreneurs and stuck to our guns with multiple different issues. Broad, which, yes, once again, more difficult for sure for us, but we're up for the chase. Now, the point I'm making with all this as a whole is that from a vetting process standpoint, the financial advisors as an example, you can sense straight away people's intentions. Majority of the reason that people get it wrong is because they see the money and they can't help but just let them in. So I need to go back through and for the last fucking year tally up how many people we've turned away. Yeah. I reckon it's in the hundreds. I'm not even joking. In discovery calls, I reckon it's in the hundreds, because you can tell straight away when you're on a call with someone what their intentions really are. Even if you hop on that call and the first question is, Dale, I don't want to waste your time today, mate. I don't want to waste my own time. Out of curiosity, what is the main reason you're hopping on this call today? You'd be fucking surprised the amount of people on that first question spew it all over the fucking table. Like, well, I seen the fact that you have, entrepreneurs doing up to 200k a month as financial advisors. Well, young entrepreneurs doing up to 200k a month. I seen that you had an entrepreneur that exited at a multiple 7-figure level. I'm curious, have you got any financial advisors in the group? I'm like, mate, talk about showing your cards in the first 30 seconds. Aye. So this guy's exited, you're a financial advisor, you think you're going to get him fucking some cash, he doesn't have a financial advisor already. It's like, fuck me. So majority of these mastermind groups, they don't vet, they promise results but don't really deliver, and they don't really have any guarantee to cover their arse. Mm-hmm. And a lot of them as well will deliver results at the front end, probably pretty early on. They'll get a buzz, people will be class off the back of it. And then after a little bit of time, they'll just churn out anyways, and then nothing really happens. And they just repeat the same process, and they're amazing at acquisition. That's the thing as well. They're amazing at marketing, they're amazing at acquisition, and they don't really give a fuck about the retention, because they'll have a big commitment fee in the front end, they'll scoop you in, boom, cash generated, repeat the same process.
So what makes your young and lazy different?
Vetting process is one component. Second component is never sacrificing retention and lifetime value, which comes from signing the right client for money on the front end. Like, if you were to say to me today, John, I want to join Young and Lazy, my first question would be, and say you know the price, I want to join Young and Lazy, I've got my card right here, let's get rolling. My first question would be, why do you want to join? And we'd get to the absolute depths. Even like just before I came in here, I was on the phone to Jack. Jack had a guy who was just on a sales call, runs an e-com brand. And because we're evolving more into this kind of coaching program, which we're already doing a one-to-one format, but not in a one-to-many format, and we want to start promising results in a one-to-many format, it's going to be really difficult for us to deliver results to e-com brands specifically, because a lot of our expertise rely within service-based. So Jack just phones me there and he's like, mate, I've just had a call with a guy. He runs an e-com brand. He's got another company alongside it, service-based. He's choking to join. What do I do? And I'm like, well, I'll give you a call afterwards to work out the nuances of it. But in my mind, there's a high chance that he's just not going to be the right fit. We're not going to be able to help him with what he's looking for. So I guess from that component, there's a level of transparency, authenticity, where we actually live by that. Yeah. And a big thing for us, like the 2 hires we've made on the front end from a sales perspective, it's been so important for us to hire people that have the same values as us. Because you could hire sales guys and they'll just sell for commission. And it's like, if they can sell any commission, they won't give a fuck.
They're not going to implement that.
Whereas the principle we put in place was that you get paid your commission when they sign the direct debit at the end of the 30 days. So when the guarantee's not been triggered, they get going to the direct debit.
Because you know that it's a win-win.
Yeah, exactly, bro. So, and also on top of that, Reese and Jack, who I signed, have been my childhood friends. Obviously, Jack I knew since I was 14, and Reese I knew since I was 5. He was my first ever friend growing up. So it's one of those where we've replicated the kind of values on the forefront. We record every call as well. So if Reese or Jack are unsure about anyone in terms of either them from a values perspective, what they like as people, or their intentions maybe are a bit skewed, or just like Jack phoning me there, it was nothing to do with those two things. That guy was a class guy, but can we really help him is the question. And if the answer is no, then why the fuck should we sell him anyways? Like, it's bizarre to me, mate, that this is even like up for discussion for a lot of people out there. If someone's coming to you and what they think they're going to get, you cannot deliver, but you're going to sell them anyways. That is fucking bizarre to me, bro. Like, that is so ludicrous that it's just fucking mental, because you're going to sell them, they're going to come in, the expectations aren't going to be met, and then they're going to leave with a sour taste in their mouth. Like, it's bizarre. I just don't get it.
No, it's crazy. So we've to, like, the coaching space can be quite mad in terms of like shitty experiences from people, and I'm a wee bit more cautious of this these days, but we had a couple of episodes we did really go hard on the whole mastermind stuff, and we seen like brand new people paying for coaches getting done over thousands of pounds, and then they are, I don't know, the argument was they were back on the gym floor. There's nothing wrong with being on the gym floor, it's just how they pivot it. So it's an interesting space. It's an interesting space for sure. What's the goal with yours? What's the goal with Young and Lazy?
I mean, the goal as a whole is to, I want it to be the space for young entrepreneurs. So when I say the space, there's a lot of drivers that we kind of have at the forefront. We want our clients to get amazing results, not only for our own benefit of clients getting amazing results, but we want them to get amazing results for their clients. Now, this is a big thing as well with the mastermind space. A lot of these masterminds will teach you how to market and sell. They won't give a fuck about how you deliver, how you retain them, and they'll teach you how to create a conveyor belt. And when obviously Hormozi's fucking big on the scene, obviously nowadays, like, I consume a lot of Layla Hormozi stuff, and a lot of what they really put across. I remember one of the podcasts I watched, they spoke about, like, when they're doing acquisitions, majority of the time when they acquire a company, it'll be one of two things. So either they'll be incredible at fucking marketing and sales, but they'll have shite delivery, or they'll be incredible at delivery, grow through word of mouth, but be terrible at marketing and sales. In majority of the time, they plug a huge hole for these companies by going in and fixing either side that needs to be fixed, if they believe in the founder. And for us, we feel like one of the foundations is going to be, it is results, essentially. So when we're thinking about incredible results, it comes from your delivery process being exceptional, your retention being exceptional, and having that mindset towards it as well, where I'm going to be the founder of a company that's going to deliver incredible results to my clients, and I'm going to be proud of that as well. Whereas majority of people, again, once it, like, I can't even believe this is even a thing, mate, but majority of people, they start a business and they're not really that arsed about the results that they deliver. They just want to cash in $3-4 grand a month and just live happily ever after without delivering any results.
Yeah.
Or even,
it's like the Amazon FBA, the old kind of model of that. It's like just getting comfortable. It's like, well, I don't know. Do you think it's in everyone?
To want to deliver results, or
to, I guess, always like grow more? I guess it comes back to mindset, I guess, when you break it down.
More. Yeah, it's an interesting one. I'm not sure. Not sure whether or not it's in everyone. I think, like, from experience, like myself, like, did I always have that in me? Probably not. But through influence of others, probably a huge component of one of the core pillars when it comes to, like, YNL is when we're looking at the vetting process, like, one of the questions that we have, which, by the way, anyone from a sales perspective, this question is fucking awesome to ask at any point. If you're going along a sales call and it's very clear that you can help someone move forward, I've just seen the camera light change a little bit. I don't know.
No, it's fine. It's just putting up your face.
Awesome. If you're on a sales call and it becomes very apparent that there's certain problems that you can definitely help solve, certain challenges, and you're presenting the solutions to them, and they're getting fucking buzzing at the thought process of solutions. One of the best questions that you can ask is, so for example, our LTV, just through, like, the community offering itself, is about 13.5 months is our LTV for a client to stay with us. We have some clients that have been with us for like 2.5, 3 years, like the full time that we've ran. One of the questions we'll ask is like Dale, this call has been amazing. And I know for a fact we can help you with these things. And I know that you're giving the same feedback that you believe that we can. Now, the only question I've got for you to just end off on is, we usually work with clients on average for 13.5 months minimum, or at least on average across the spectrum. What would make it exciting for us to work with you for that long. And people really start fucking selling the shit out of why they really want to work with you, essentially. I was going off in tangents in this, mate, and I forget why the fuck I brought that into play. Why was I bringing that into play?
It was a good one of your core pillars, like how to connect with your audience or connect with your people.
Audience. You're dropping that little sales question. Yeah, I mean, like, when, from a sales perspective, you're getting really clear on the fact that you can deliver results and deliver value, and they get fucking super excited at that point where they're basically selling to you the fact that you can believe that you can deliver value to them. It positions you also with a lot of power on the call as a whole, but from a perspective of people believing that they can get value as well and feeling safe in that actual fucking handing over of the cash and wanting to move forward, it's an exceptional position to be in. But in regards to whether or not people have it in them, I guess was the initial question. It's an interesting one, mate. Because I think the main reason we implemented that question was to get people really clear, or to get us really clear on whether or not people wanted to work with us and whether people believed in us. I think that's just something that we've always wanted to do. We've always wanted to deliver results. We've always wanted to.
You've got that now. How many people have you got?
80 plus. I need to actually have a look at
And the goals to scale this to, like, what's the next milestone for you?
So we're doing about 20k a month just now on average. We've got some kind of high ticket consultancy, especially the Notion side of things. So like me and Andy from a specialisation, there's what we both specialise in. I love the delivery process side of things. I really enjoy the marketing, especially like paid ads, offer creation. I love that stuff. Retention overall, like, I mean, delivery process links to retention. That's the tangible result off the back of it. The marketing side of things, paid ads is something that we've dialed in. When I spoke about those applications before, 100 plus of them every single month come through our paid ads, which is what I run.
How much do you spend on ads per month?
So it comes in just now at like between £12 and £15 per application. So about 1.5 to $2,000 a month.
What's your spend though? Have you got multiple ads running? Like, what have you found? Because it's quite a niche market, coaching.
Yeah.
It's like if it was a bathroom or a kitchen, boom, tons of leads come flying in. What have you found that's kind of working for you just now?
Yeah, so we have, it's mainly Facebook and Instagram ads is what we run. We have, our kind of philosophy was like create, I think majority of people that run any sort of ads will have a higher volume of ads that they'll kind of produce, pick the winners, then double down on the winners. So up until literally like last week, we had 4 ads that were working incredibly well that were just our winners. We just doubled down the spend on them. Kind of got to a stage where it started to get a bit of ad fatigue. And it started to become, I think in terms like, it becomes like wallpaper where people are just used to seeing it all the time. So we had another 5 ads shot with a few different copy variations. And the cost per application is back down at kind of 12 to 15.
See where that goes. Good.
Which is class, man. But yeah, that's one thing people don't speak a lot about, like kind of ad fatigue overall.
Yeah.
And actually replenishing your ads.
Well, I'm conscious of time because you need to shoot, but it'd be great to get you back on and maybe dive deeper into some of the more topics that you're either from common mindsets of what you see within the group of where you can take people, but maybe like some strategies and stuff that you find with younger entrepreneurs and all that. But one thing I did want to ask you, like, looking back at everything that you've done so far, what's like a key highlight that jumps out to you?
Key highlight, few different answers from me on this. One, bringing Andy on as a kind of co-owner. We were doing 1.4k a month at the time. That was literally like 2 years ago, like last month. And yeah, to go from 1.4k a month to doing like over 20k months is pretty nuts in that kind of like time period, which is exciting. Hiring Jack, like having my best mate, like literally coming on board, and like we were out for dinner on Saturday with my, like obviously Jack literally grew up with me, so gets along incredibly well. My mum, Bex, like all my family. So he actually came out for dinner with the rest of my family, and it was funny because Craig, who's my mum's partner, he was like, "So Jack, how are you finding it?" And he was like, "Honestly, mate, it's been fucking life changing. Like, I'm just so grateful for like the opportunity from John, and I can't believe how different my life looks." And Craig started laughing because he was like, "Don't worry, mate, you're not in the job interview anymore," like or anything like that. And Jack was like, "I know it sounds cliche." He was like, "But that's genuinely like how I feel with all my heart." Good. So I think Andy, then Jack, and then now hiring Reese as well, and having my mum involved, like all of those things. I'm a big like people person for the people that are closest to me or within my circle. I'll do anything for them. And to one of the things that isn't spoken enough about, and I'm kind of sad that I've just realised that we've not really spoke much about, is that like for a lot of young people out there, man, they don't have that brotherhood, sisterhood, camaraderie like feeling. And I think having all of us under the one roof, where it's like we wake up every day and we go out there and we basically fucking make a living for ourselves through like this business, through this concept that I've created from scratch. It's like doesn't really get much better than that, man. Nah,
it's cool, and I think that's why it's probably even more powerful in the argument for joining groups. And it's I guess it's what I don't know. I guess mastermind isn't the right word for it. I don't think it's mastermind that you're running. I think it's more of a deeper relationship that you're building with each one of your clients or customers or business.
The foundation, man, for sure. Like even when I've brought like Reese and Jack on initially, it was like it's interesting because at the time period during this, like I said to you before I came in, it's like we're kind of in a transition period where we've always been known as a community, and that's everything you're hearing there is the community piece, this deeper sense of relationship. Like there's people that are now doing joint ventures together. There's people that are investing in each other's businesses. There's people that are fucking like having daily calls together, like trying to learn from each other. And those relationships, man, will go on for decades. Like they will succeed massively together. And it's something that has always been the core of our foundation. But one of the things we got exposed to into Phil Graham's house was that one of his core drivers is the community, but he's actually got 7 other that stack up on top of it.
Well, that was going to be a follow-up question, because that's easier to do with a smaller community. But if let's say you grow this to 500 plus people, how do you keep that? How do you maintain that? Because I know myself being a part of a number of communities, at the start there's a buzz, and you connect with maybe 2 or 3 people, but when everybody's sharing their updates, I'm like, man, this is actually stressing me out. I need to stop getting involved with other people's stuff. I need to focus on my own. Have you worked out how you'll forecast that or how to manage that?
So I mean, we've got a few different components. Like I think hiring overall, like who you bring in, been really, really fucking like dialed in on who we bring in from a perspective of them embodying the same values and them being coachable from an aspect of like training them. So like Reese came in from like a fucking property sales environment. That's hard closes. That's like really fucking straight dialed, man. And like having to teach them to just understand that like someone could be literally ready to give you their credit card and you're going to say no because they're not the right fit. Like that was something that was really hard to compute.
No, I like that. I think that they need, in all honesty, there needs to be more of that.
Yeah.
From any space when it comes to business, because it shows the integrity and authenticity that you have for your own thing. Is there a challenge from your perspective when some people you look up to as Hormozis, like the GOAT, their power couple and what they do and all that sort of stuff, when you see them post things like the advice that they give from the experience that they've gained, do you find it hard, or have you found that as an insecurity of yours because you're helping business owners fucking kill it? But you've not necessarily had this is your business, if that makes sense. How do you fight against that sort of feedback? Because that's, like, I would imagine, one of the things that people are maybe a wee bit hesitant about.
I think it's building in public, but also like stacking the proof. So it's like we're doing like 20k plus per month. We've got clients that are doing 200, 300k per month. And it's like, well, why the fuck should they come to us for any sort of advice or whatever it may be? And there's a lot of kind of limiting beliefs that will come into play there that people will be like, well, they're not limiting beliefs, they're actually very tangible beliefs, because if you've not been there, done it, then how can you help them?
How do you help?
But I think a lot of these people, they joined initially for the community. That's their main sell on it. They want other people, other young entrepreneurs around them, other killers around them that are fucking crushing it. And then naturally, actually, through being in the sessions and being in the kind of different group environments, me and Andy just became like the point of call where people would come to us for advice. Like I literally got a voice note yesterday from one of our high earning clients who raised a shit ton of investment, and he's basically been presented with an opportunity of how to basically like 6/7x their growth in the next 12 months through an investment opportunity. And he's coming to me and he's wanting my thoughts, and it's not because I have the answer or I've been there and done that. It's because he knows that I'm going to give him different questions from different perspectives, and he knows the way that I operate and from a mindset perspective. And also, I think when I think about like Hormozy and those sorts of individuals, I used to feel quite overwhelmed with the lot of value that they put out, because there's a lot of shit that they're putting out there that's like, holy shit, this is fucking immense.
I had to read the books like 6 times before I actually implemented anything.
And it's fucking overwhelming at some points. But I think the main reason we went with Phil Graham, for example, and from a one-to-one perspective, it was because we wanted something bespoke to our business. And the context they're putting out there isn't going to be a one-shoe-fits-all. And I think that's the way a lot of people look at it, when it's really not. They're putting it out to the masses, and it's about you being able to take and implement the things that really apply to your business. Which, yeah, it's hard to distill for sure. And when people are talking about the kind of belief system, the confidence, you're going to gain confidence through exploration and through achieving results, in my opinion. So if someone comes to us and they're doing 300k a month and they want my advice on it, my first thing I want to say is, like, I've not been there and done this, but if you still want my thoughts on it, then I'm more than willing to ask you some different questions and give you a different perspective.
I think you gave a really good answer on it, because it was always something that, I don't know, I don't know if this is everybody, but we can be quite judgy from the outside before we know someone. And it's something I've got much better at as time has went on. It's like, well, like, everybody's got a story, everybody's got something. Like, just seeing the result at the end, it's like, well, why would people go to X person for coaching when in reality you don't know the history of what they've been through? So no, it's a good answer.
One final thing on that before we round up. I think as well, see if you really sit, there's a book I read, Psycho-Cybernetics, which was, there was a part in the book where it tells you to do an exercise, which is write down all the best things that you've achieved in your life, and then write down what comes after you write that thing down. So for me, the word was always but. So I became a full-time streamer, but I only averaged 30 to 50 viewers, like, concurrently throughout a stream. I got scouted for some of the best clubs in Scottish football, but I never made it. And it was all these things, and it was business as well. You know, I'm a young entrepreneur. I've had my own business, and I've survived for 4 years, but I've not had my first 6-figure month. And it was like, no matter what,
robbing yourself.
Yeah, every single time, mate. And I would write those things down. And when you kind of start to recognize, like, your language and your perception of how you see yourself, it's important to think further to the contrary of the kind of positives of what it is that you've actually experienced and gained. And for me, I took that exercise, and one of the things it tells you to do is flip it to a positive mentality. So it sounds pretty simple, but for me, I started to write down all the reasons of why 6-figure per month entrepreneurs should listen to me, as an example. And it's like, well, you know, I was mentored by Posty, who ran 6 different companies, done multi-millions every single month. I then was, I went through Alex Becker's Iron program, which he's just sold Hyros for 200 mil, I think it was, or maybe even fucking more. I can't remember exactly how much, but it was ridiculous level of numbers just a couple of years back. And he developed the Iron program 2 to 3 years prior to selling that company. So while he was building that company, he's created that program and taught them. I then was mentored for a large amount of time. I say a large amount of time, a really short space of time, but for a large amount of time within that short space of time, by Gary Wilson, who sold an SEO agency for 2 mil. It's like, when you start to stack the proof of who you've been taught by and mentored by, and now Phil Graham, who's doing, I think he done like 600k last month in one of his videos he speaks about, it's like, you start to stack the proof of why some people should come to you, or you should come to you for advice, regardless of the numbers that you're doing. And I think as well, running a network, evolving into a mastermind group, like, honestly, mate, if I was to run like a fucking marketing agency or something that is actually much simpler to run, I reckon we'd be doing like much higher numbers than what we're doing right now. But the payoff is if we crack this rather complicated model and we start to crack ridiculous numbers, the $500,000 a month, mil a month, those levels of things, doing it at that level for a mastermind group where I know how difficult it is to get to that stage, we get to a level where there's not many companies that can really compete with us.
I can't stand toe to toe with you. I think to summarise what you said there, like, as well, like, another thing you probably not touched on is the being in the environment, being around these people, because it's allowed you to become an expert in Facebook ads now. I wouldn't, and that you could have just been the Facebook ad guy and then start your networking, but it's been the other way around. So it's as your clients level up, you need to, as a byproduct. It's like, if you're around with those players who are getting better, if you're in the team, kind of need to get better or you're going to get dropped. So it's similarities in that mindset. So no, good. One thing I'll finish on, what's the dream then?
What's the dream? Oof, what's the dream? Also, it's fresh front of mind, like going to Phil Graham's house, experiencing the kind of level of true like wealth as such. Like, bro, even walking in and it's like,
it's crazy.
I've
heard so many. I've met obviously some crazy coaches and all that sort of stuff, and they've been for that. Like they've done some sort of one-on-one mentoring as well. But it looks insane.
It is nuts. I think that level of wealth, like actually feeling it, touching it, being there and experiencing it. Like he's got freedom as well. Like he does 1 hour of group coaching per week, and then the rest of that's managing his team. And then he chooses these kind of 1-to-1 mentorships with people that he believes they can deliver value. I think like his whole kind of philosophy is like life on your terms. I resonate massively with that. I think I'm really still fucking super young on this kind of journey where I'm in a creative phase where I'm just so fucking dialed in on what's right here and now that I know no matter what, it's going to result in me being able to obtain whatever I want in the future. That I've actually not even really thought about what that dream really is, to be completely honest. I'd be popping an answer at the fin air.
I guess one thing I would have go back and we'll maybe touch on in our episode is you're working on the habits that's going to get you there. So you're literally following the game plan, and it's just a matter of when you win the next season. So I like that. Well, we'll finish on that. So final thing to say, if anyone wants to maybe join, what's the things that you're looking for if they're listening to this? I
mean, yeah, when it comes to Young and Lazy, like on Instagram, like John Hamilton with 2 N's, I think it is. There is like an application process that we go through. If you're sitting here and you're listening to this and you feel like you resonate with a lot of stuff that we're saying or that I'm saying overall, then I would say to go and apply and just know that you're in good hands, safe hands, from an aspect of we wouldn't sell to you if we didn't believe that we could help you. So if you're sitting here and you're resonating with it, there's a link in my bio.
I'll put it in the show notes as well.
Which is fine. But go through that application process. Reese and Jack will be at the forefront of there. Best mates for years. If they don't believe that we can help you, they'll say you.
Good. Well, it's my pleasure. Thanks for coming on.
Yeah.
See you guys soon.
Me, bro.